Welcome to the next slide. So in the previous slide, we have seen how to add a node and how to delete a node from a linked list. Now we will see that how to get a node and how to set a node. Set a node means how to update a node. So get node basically return a node that you are looking for some node and you have some index. So index basically you know uh, the position of the node. So if you are trying to find out number third node, then basically this is the index, this is the position of the node. So you have to count, you have to start from the head, then you count all the nodes. So when you find the number 3 node, then you will return that node. So that basically return a node. That's why get node method basically return a node type, that is returning a node. And this is your index, this is your positions, that which number of node you are looking for. So you start from head, so this is your starting point. So then you have a loop, for loop. So in the for loop, basically you go node one by one, and when you find your particular node, so basically you go until your index, and node equal to not null, that means you didn't finish your whole linked list. So no, if node equal to null, that means you didn't find that node. For example, a linked list has 5 nodes and you are looking for number 7th node. So number 7th node is not exist in the linked list because you only have 5 nodes. So in that case, probably you will reach the positions that then you finish whole the linked list and you didn't find the number 7th node. So in that case, that condition will be satisfied. So and other condition is that if in the I less than index, that means your node will start from 0, and the second node will be index 1, third node will be index 2. So that means you have a for loop, and you just moving forward by giving node.next. Node.next is a following node, so that is assigned to the node, and you moving forward, and you will find you'll go until you have the index satisfied. When you have the index satisfied, then you will have the your targeted node to the node, and you can return that node. So if you go to the this one, say for example, this is your head, this is your head, and you start from here, and you are looking for this node number, this node. So you gave 2 this is 0 node, this is 1 node, 2 node, 3 node, 4 node, so index 3, index 4, sorry, index 2, index 3, index 4. So in the loop, you start from here, then you move forward using the node.text, then you move forward using the node.next, then your that for loop condition is satisfied and you return this node. So these are the happenings over here. You have a for loop and you have some conditions, and in these conditions you go until this condition you go to the your targeted node, and after reaching at your targeted node you return that node. Now get get method basically return the data of that node. So get node to return a node, and get method basically return the data of a particular node. So in order to find the data of a particular node, you need to find out the node first. When you find the node first, then you can return the data of that node. So you just have some exception handling mechanisms. If index is not 0, so that means you are not looking for something that is be before 0. So if you try to find out any node of -1, then it will give some index out of bound exception, because this index not in the linked list. And if you are looking for something that is uh, index is more than your size of the linked list, say for example, as I said that you have uh, 5 nodes, that means size of the linked list is 5, and you are looking for 7, that is basically you don't have in this linked list, that is index is greater than size. So if it's not, if it is this case, then you know basically throw in exceptions, because this is out of bound, you know, index. So if it's not the case, you find node by using get node method that we have here. So using the get node method, you return the node. After returning the node, you just return the node dot data, that basically return the data of this particular node. So this one is the get method, and set method basically update, yeah, update a node, you know, update a old data by new data. So similarly, so in order to update old data by new data, you need to find the node first. So when you find a particular node, then you can update that data of that node. So similarly, you have to handle some you know, index out of bound exceptions. Similar these things. So you have exception handling techniques over here. Then you find the node using the index. So after finding the node, then you keep your old data to the result, and old data is replaced by the new data that is coming through these parameters. So old data is node.data contains the old data, so old data replaced by the new data, and you return your old data. So you need return your old data that contains that is inside the result variable that you already kept before replacing the old data. So this is how set method and happening. Now add method, there is another add method. For example, these add method basically you know, add something, you know, at the end, at the end of the linked list. So we have seen two more add method before, in the beginning of the programs. Say for example, this one is a add first. You are adding something at the end of the at the beginning of the linked list. You are adding something in between two you are adding something after any node, and then finally we are seeing that there is another add method. These add method basically, you know, insert something. No, this is add method of parent method of those previous add method. So if you are passing calling add method, this is index and this is item, that your item should be in the new node, and index is basically, you know, where you want to add this new node. So you check your exceptions similar to the previous all method. If index is 0, then you call the add first method. That if index is 0, that means you are adding something in the beginning of the linked list. So if index is 0, then you call the add first method that you have already implemented in the class. So if index is not 0, that means you want to add something after any node. So this is the, then you have to find the node first. So from after which node you want to delete, so you need to find that node basically by using the get node method. When you find the node, then you call the add after method that you have implemented in the beginning of this class. So this is kind of a parent method of your previous two add method. So add method taking index and item, then you call add first method if you want to add something in the beginning of the linked list. If you want to add something after any node, then you have to find that particular node for after which node you want to add. Then after finding that node, then you call add after method to add new node after that method. Then these add method, this is another add method. These add method basically adding something after, you know, at the end of the linked list. So how can you add at the end of the link? You call the add method. This is add method. You call these add method by giving the size as an index. So size contains size contains the last index of your linked list. So size and your item that you want to keep this item in the node. Then if it's success, then it will return to. So these add method basically add a node at the end of the linked list. So by giving size and item, you can add at the end of the linked list. Now the remove method that we already have seen some remove method, remove first and remove after. So this is a parent method of all those remove method. So you call that a remove method and you check the index of bound similar to the previous all method. If index is 0, that you are removing head of the linked list. So you just call the remove first, and if it's not index is 0, that means you are trying to remove something after any node. So in that case, you have to find the particular node first. Using the get node, you can find the particular node, then you can call the remove after using that node. So this is how you can use a remove method. This is a remove method, is a parent method of the previous two, remove after and remove first method, and you can call them to do the same things. And finally, print string method. Print string method basically print all the data, of your linked list, of all nodes in the linked list. You just have a for loop, and that runs till size of the linked list, and it prints data. That data is coming to using the get method, and get method you know get the data of each node, and then you print this information. So this is all up to your single linked list basic information. So now, say if you want to, this is your linked list class, single linked list class. Now if you want to use that single linked list class, then you can create a main class. This is your main class, my single class. Then you have a main method. Then you create object of this class. So you copy this one, you create object of this class, something like that. You create object of this class, that class that object contains of the string. Then you add some informations, add more informations. Then you can do some set, add, and add some remove method, apply remove method, or whatever you want, you can do that. And you can see that it will work properly. So you can see that these are working properly. So I will upload this code. You should read this code and you should understand this code. So this is how what we are doing. We create a KW single linked list. Then in the KW single linked list, we basically in the main class, we create an object of this our single linked list class, KW single linked list class. Then we use all the method that we have define in our class. Now this is the how we are using a linked list class that we have implemented. So if you want to implement Java's own class, Java's built-in linked list class, then you can call linked list. This is not our, this is basically Java's built-in libraries class. So you just have a linked list class and create an object of linked list class, and you can you know, you know compile, and you can run, and you can see that it's also showing the same results, because both are the same, both have the same operations. So what we have done, they already have implemented in the linked list class in the Java library. So that's up to you. You can create your own class, linked list class. Then you can use that linked list class for doing some operations, and you can use Java's built-in class, and you can do the same operation that we have implemented in your own class. So this is all up to your single linked list implementation. You should try this one. We will have some assignments. You should do those assignments, then you will have, good knowledge in the linked list, because all the following classes, though those will be related to linked list. So if you don't have proper idea of the linked list, then probably you will suffer in the following classes. Thank you. Next, in the next class, we will talk about the double linked list.